welcome back to my studio. Today I'm going to use my Richard Schmid palette in this little palette, which is a portable painter. A few weeks ago I did a video on this palette. We have cadmium yellow lemon, cadmium yellow pale, cadmium yellow deep, which is very orange, a yellow ochre, a cadmium red, a terra rosa, a transparent red oxide, this is alizarin red, viridian, cerulean blue, cobalt blue and ultramarine. So without further ado, we're going to start off. Now I usually do drawings before I do paintings, and I'm using a piece of toned paper, a pencil and some white chalk. I use a thing called a General's charcoal white, which is easy to get, and just as I say, an ordinary pencil. And this is because this toned paper gives me the middle value to work off. So I'm going darker with the pencil, lighter with the chalk. So I've got three values: mid-tone, darker, lighter. And this really helps me in my thought process before I start a painting. So I will use this as my guide. I've drawn it out onto my watercolor paper and I'm going to jump in. I'm going to start with the sky. I'm going to put a little bit of water in the sky. I'm just using an ordinary bristle brush because I think my Harke brush is a little bit too big for this size, so that'll do nicely. Now I'm using the transparent red oxide, which is light red. So if you've got light red, just use that. I just got it. It's an M. Graham colour, and it's like light red. What can I say? Okay, so we're just going to lay the wash in for the sky, and this is just a very, very pale grey. I'm not doing anything fancy with the sky. There's no puffy white clouds. It's just a grey backdrop. I might make it a little bluer on this side and a little warmer on that side, but that is it, because this isn't really about the sky. So just lay that in quickly, and that's all we need to do. Oops. Now you'll see that I've drawn the horizon line. I'm going to leave that to dry now. I've drawn the horizon line. Now that's quite important, because if we look back at the drawing, the light was bouncing off this. Now I could leave it as white. I did a large A2 painting where I did indeed leave it as white. So I could try that here. It's a little bit small to play with this, but we'll try. So the next colour is the sort of the greeny colours of the fields. So now on this palette we have an ultramarine, which I might use. Get my water, and cadmium yellow pale, which I'm going to put there. Now that gives you a fairly nice neutral, but I'm going to put a little bit of the light red terra rosa in it. I want a sort of an olive green. So that's fairly olivey. Just rearrange my desk. Things do get a little bit complicated. Okay, that's fine. I like that. So this is a marsh, so I'm just going to lay this in. And each time I pick up some paint, I might put a little bit of blue or a little bit of red, so that I've got a variegated wash going on. Put a bit more yellow in it. Make it a bit greener this side. Now this is water, so I'm going to leave that till this is dried. In fact, we'll probably have to dry this off with the hairdryer, but that's okay. So back in here. I want it a little bit darker and bluer this side, so I put a little bit more ultramarine in. Now I do want to be careful on this edge, because this edge is the edge that is running into this water, and we're not sure quite how we're going to do the water yet. Put a bit more yellow in it. So do you see how variegated this wash is? It isn't just one, ooh, I mixed a green and I put it down. I'm going to use a bit of sienna, which is also in here, and mix it with my green. I think I just bumped the camera, sorry about that. These things happen. I want it a little bit lighter there, so I put more water in, dab it off on my brush. Don't want all these white, too many white. Just gently, I don't really want these white dots, they're annoying me this morning. Okay, this is a little bit lighter as well if I look at my... Right, this is actually water, so this is a pond. So we're going to do a slightly darker green for the... So I put a little bit more ultramarine blue into my mix. And it's a bit darker along that edge because it's in shadow. We don't want too many blooms, but we are going to get a little bit of movement here. Right, now this we can just gently bleed out there and up here. And this is a lighter piece. So we've got a lighter tone going on here. Okay. Now this becomes a little bit more green and it's coming towards us, and so I'm thinking I may use a bit of this cerulean, which is a bit, see, I've put the cerulean and the cadmium yellow pale together, so I'm still using, and it does make quite a bright green. Now in order to sort of fit it into all the other colours, I'm going to pick up a bit from my palette, just knock the edge off it. I don't want it to be totally not cohesive with this painting, but I do want a little bit of that sort of, it's been grazed by the sheep green sort of colour, and then it runs down into the, this is water, this is continuing in the sort of the boggy area. So this is still fairly green, so we can put some nice bright green in there. And then as it turns, as it makes a sort of a turn here, it's a little bit more in shade. So we want to denote that shade by just darkening it up a little bit. So we've got that sort of feel that it's coming around here. Wash off the brush and go again. I want to bring this through here and a little bit of brighter green here. Doesn't need to be a straight line there. And then a little bit of, might put a bit more blue in this side. In here, and then all of this area, this is water, so we want to leave that. Probably put a bit of, yeah. So this is going to be more of this sort of greyed off colour, so we can put a bit of brown back into this green wash. Maybe a bit of ultramarine blue. I don't want it so juicy though. I'm going to dab it off on my brush and make a lighter value. I may get a run here, but we'll see. That seems alright. Okay, so we're just going to leave that little bit of white paper, which is quite important, as you'll see later. And a little bit of sienna there. That's too much. So I'm going to make... Now we don't want too much colour here, so we do want to make a light value. A sort of a... I've put ultramarine and sort of the mucky stuff that's on my palette. Might just add a hint in there, that's too much. Just trying to get a little bit of variation as I come down the face of this mountain. I'm going to make it a bit bluer for the top of it. Okay, this is now lovely and dry all over, so I'm going to look back at my drawing. So if you look at the foreground, I had some light catching this area here. So in order to do that, we need to lay a few more dark washes in the foreground. I've got some light through here, some light there, and I've still got the light on the water, and I'm still undecided as to whether I won't leave it like this, but we'll see in a minute how I tackle that. But first of all, let's just do this. We want to leave an area of light hitting this hill, which is running in this direction. Oops. So back to my oval wash brush, and we just make up some sort of random, which was lemon yellow, a little bit of the yellow ochre, and a bit of ultra blue, which gives it another olivey feel. So we're just going to lay this in here. And I'm going to take a wet brush and just blend that edge out, blend that away. Just wipe this off the edge so I don't get any back runs. Alright, now I want that to dry, and I also want it to go more of an angle, so we'll bring that back in. I don't know if I want a hard line, just soften that. But what I do want is a little bit of splatter. See if I can get this to splatter. I'm going to hold that there because I don't really want. And because it's splattering in the, could put a, I don't know if I really want, I don't think I want splatter back there. Because it's into the wet, it's all blooming, but that's okay. That gives me a little foreground texture. Now this is a little bit pale, so I think I'm going to come in with some yellow ochre and just edge that along. I'm going to try and touch the edge, maybe some grasses. Right, and that's really all I want to do for now. So I hope you've enjoyed this little landscape. I think it's quite fun. We've got some variation in our values. We've got lights, we've got darks, we've got a bit of jewel colour. We've got a bit of light bouncing off the water. We've got a little bit of texture in the foreground. Maybe I could just add a little bit more here. Just like, there we are, just to hold that. And thank you very much, and see you next time.